Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, Season 2, The Oncoming Storm, Episode 9. Last we left off, our little coterie consisting of Urien and Amber and, on the sidelines, Benji, have been doing their best to try and improve some situations that have fallen awry. One of which being that the black mass, the herd that Urien had been cultivating for the coterie, somehow fell under attack. One of the promised attendees had been assaulted in their home the other night. Upon further investigating, Amber, with a bit of charm and a bit of deductive skills, was able to track down the name of the person attacked and was able to find out who had attacked them. As it would turn out, the culprit was none other than their coterie mate Benji. He hadn't actually divulged that information to them, which made Urien very angry. Urien spent the night last time getting a little coterie he had formed of thin bloods set up in a corner of his domain so that they could cultivate it for themselves. But upon hearing this news, is now walking the streets of San Antonio, the sanctuary domain, looking for the Bruja. Amber, let's get your thoughts a little bit as to what exactly you've been thinking and what you plan to do tonight.
Quite frankly, right now I wish to take the right side of the largest set of platform heals that I have and strike Benji across the face with it. That fucking idiot. He could have at least said something. Something! To tell us that something had gone wrong. I'm sure if he had said something at the time, maybe like just after it happened, maybe Urien wouldn't be so goddamn pissed. But no, Big Benji had to go and take it all on his own and not tell anyone. As it is, I'm already late for a meeting and having to deal with to clean up his shit. He's gonna owe me for this. And I'm gonna have to apologize very deeply to Dren. I was supposed to be there an hour ago. I'm gonna... I hope Urien deals with this because I don't want to see him for a little bit. If I do, with what he did to that girl, I am liable to lose my shit. And that wouldn't be good for anyone.
No, it would not. Urien, what are your thoughts walking these streets these nights?
Benji. 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 They could call me preoccupied. Right now, find him. I don't care where he runs. Give it find Isabella and I burn the place down to get him out. There.
Sorry about that, everyone. Welcome back. Had to fix some volume settings so that you guys could actually get some music here. But we find Amber walking from her luxurious skyline and walking towards a bus station, the Via Centro Plaza. The one meeting point that seems to be in Baron Delgado's domain, but is not necessarily disputed between the two. It's more of a meeting place. And this is where we find Amber. Walking through the mostly now empty bus station. It seems that all of the buses and all of the people have gone for the night. It seems that the routes have finished up. But you're here. And upon walking through the main portion of it, you do see three people. One of which you do recognize from the night that you spent at the Tower of Americas visiting with the Barons. However, the other two you're not familiar with.
He brought friends. Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. I'm going to approach, greet, and immediately apologize for the delay. I am exceptionally sorry for being late. Unfortunately, matters pertaining to my existence came up. Kind of an emergency thing.
Of course, you could have called ahead. However, that does not matter anymore. I have things I must attend to at some point. Allow me to introduce to you my friend, Velda, and her new acquaintance, Miss Violet Rousing.
My, I didn't know there were so many beautiful people in the city. Where have you all been hiding?
In plain sight, dear. Just under your nose. But my, aren't you a pretty picture?
Indeed, and though I myself only just arrived in the city, I am quite amazed by the beauty that it holds.
I mean, if we're being frank here, me too. But what I called you out here about, I need to have a little talk with you regarding the law enforcement in the city.
Law enforcement.
Yes. Unfortunately, there are a few police officers personally looking into a disappearance that, well, they really shouldn't be looking into. And from my own reconnoitering, I know of at least two. One that will be dealt with in short order. But if there's one, there's more. And I think it's a matter of great concern to both myself and my patron's interests, and to yourself and your patron's interests. police sniffing around our stuff is never a good thing, right?
No. However, I don't have much in the way of police contacts or a very broad police influence myself. Trying to think who it is I might be able to direct you to, though. Can't think of them off the top of my head.
I must say, I'm not sure what the problem is. Even though he is police, he is still only one kind. Is he under someone's protection, or is there some part of this I am not seeing?
Given who it is that I currently work for, there is probably a lot that even I don't see. But yes, Miss Violet, it would be best to say that there is a lot that isn't being stated here. I mean, if
Sorry,
it was
who?
him,
Sorry. Go ahead.
you had a question?
I was about to ask. Who is it that you work for again?
Well, if I was being coy, I would tell you I work for the devil.
Don't we all,
Cute.
dear?
But
I am moving around on behalf of one Urien Doyle. And unfortunately, as much as it would be easy to just take these two police officers and make them disappear into a lake or something similar, unfortunately, they need to be left alive.
I'm sorry, you said two.
Yes, the main one, the one has brought on a friend of his by the name of Chuck, which is why I'm concerned, because if he's talked to if the main one here has talked to one person about this, he's probably talked to more. And the more eyes there are looking for this missing person, the more dangerous it becomes for us.
perhaps they can be convinced to back away.
Well, that was the idea, but...
Let
And
me
this has to
guess,
do-
it didn't work.
No, I haven't had a chance to put the plan in motion yet. Instead, something else has happened. Those matters pertaining to my existence that I talked about, the reason for my lateness, is part of that. It's a web
Seems you
that
have
I
issues.
must. It's a web I must untangle.
Seems you have issues with time management.
Well, if I didn't have to go visit very thoroughly beaten kind in the hospital, my time management would be just fine. But unfortunately, trying to get into the ICU was a little bit harder than people first suspect.
As it's supposed to be. But I've had a little bit of a think. Your best bet is to talk to a woman named Loretta McLaughlin. She's a Nosferatu. But she is very good at what she does to keep police out of the way when it comes to masquerade breaches.
Might be an idea to talk to her then. At the very least, it'll get.
You'll have to find her first.
Well, I mean, with Nosferatu, that's the hard part. But, that's a... Thank you for that. That is...
Don't you have connections in
Useful.
your own barony for that?
I had a talk with them, but there wasn't really a lot that they could do.
I see. Well, I must be off.
Before you do,
Dren, really? But it seems like we only just met.
Yes, well, we shall have to meet again, Miss Violet.
I do hope so.
I really do have other things I must attend to tonight.
Truly, Dren, it has been a pleasure.
Shall see you again, Velda.
See you again.
And yes, you were about to say something, Miss Dupree.
yes, I had a quick parting question.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to have a street shop somewhere in town, would you? My baby's looking for a tune-up.
A street shop. I might. Again, talk to my secretary and set up an appointment maybe for 3 months, and we'll see. I don't have
Okay.
time to fix your car right now.
No, that's fair enough. I just thought that I would ask.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, Dren.
Good night,
night.
Dren.
And in a bit of a huff, he makes his way out of the plaza and gives the three of you the rest of the night, if you so desire, and makes his way to his own vehicle, which is pretty luxurious. Not overly so, but it's nice. But he drives away.
Amber, as he's gone, Amber just pinches the bridge of her nose and swears under her breath.
Oh, don't be like that, dear.
It's like,
Yeah,
no.
things could be far worse.
I mean, yes, but also no. It's... I'm gonna share something with you. My lateness. As I said, I was visiting someone in the ICU. Someone who apparently one of my coterie mates put in there.
My. How violent. And how forthcoming of you.
Yes, very trusting.
Well, it's a little bit of tit for tat. We know nothing about each other. But I thought that I would share this little information in a show of good faith. I mean, with things as they are, we all need to stick together.
Indeed. Well, it seems that you have issues with time management. Perhaps you need more hands on deck.
Considering I'm getting tied up in a Machiavellian web of lies, yes, I think that would be a wonderful idea.
Certainly could not hurt. After all, three beautiful ladies like ourselves, I think that we could achieve quite a lot in this city.
I think so. Now, ST,
Mm-hmm. Yes, Amber.
having a look at Velda,
Mhm.
is there any chance that I might recognize her?
You've maybe seen her off and on in some of your regular meetings with other Toreador, but you two have never spoken face to face, and more or less just gave each other room up until this point. You're maybe aware of each other by name, but that's about it so far.
Okay. It's like, Well, I suppose it would be a good idea to get more hands on the ground, considering everything is getting oh so very complex, and we have the I'd say metaphorical, but honestly it's a quite literal sort of Damocles hanging over our head. I'm sure you two have been filled in on the state of things at the moment.
Violet,
To
Velda,
an extent.
you would both know that there's a rumor that Camarilla are coming to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Strong rumors.
To a certain extent, there are rumors floating about as usual. Seems this city has gotten quite itself into quite a mess.
I would say that I agree, but then again, I have just left a bigger mess up north, so I don't know, it still seems quite peaceful here at the moment.
For now, things can
For now.
always degrade.
Oh, I am well aware of that.
Quite frankly, I would say things are degrading rather quickly. But I suppose if I'm gonna get more hands on deck, then I should probably take you to meet Mr. Doyle. It would be a somewhat of a faux pas to have you working with me and not meet the man that I work for.
Hadn't been my intention.
Although I have absolutely no idea where he is at the moment, because he is a very traditional type, doesn't carry a phone on him, and he's gone hunting.
I see. Well, it hadn't been my intention to join up with you, but you're so lovely. I can't say no.
I mean, I think perhaps I would like to meet this boss who is putting so much pressure upon you first before I say one way or the other, but I am always willing to help out another beauty where I can.
I'm glad that you two agree. I really am. It warms this dead heart of mine. But let us see if I can't try and locate him, although that's going to be a bit of an effort. At the very least, I can take you back into our domain and see at the very least how the young ones are doing.
Very well. Shall we then?
Okay.
We shall.
And Amber, where do you intend to take these two lovely ladies?
I'm going to I know the Urien's last known location was Club Lush, so it's gonna have to be there.
Okay. So it's getting on about 2:30 in the morning as well.
If the boys are still there, I'll probably tell them to go back to the meeting house, because they're out late, having to be a parent. Being like, you guys should probably head home. It's getting late.
I'm not entirely sure where it is I put that. Well, it seems that I have deleted that scene. Oops. So, you make your way to Club Lush, and the young ones are still about, kind of getting used to their new little domain, and are seeming to be fitting in fairly well. You see Alfonso and Fox and Carlos there.
On the way there, I'm gonna because I imagine us three ladies are probably going to be going in my car,
Hmm.
Yes.
unless they brought their own vehicles. Um, I'm going to warn the two on the way there that this place's aesthetics are very much not to taste, but she didn't choose to put them here.
I see.
And what do you mean by that, my dear?
I think it's better if I just show you. And she's going to pull up and gesture to the gaudiness that is Club Lush.
Mm. And it is
Ew.
fairly, and Velda and Miss Violet, you see that the club is a single level, that it has a little bit of a lounge space that is walled off by glass, um, but otherwise makes for better conversation. There is a bit of a haze going through the dance floor. You see that the bar is fairly small. It looks pretty well stocked, but it's fairly small. It's only got one tender to it, and but the location, as you're driving up, you see that it's in the corner of two different highways. So there's potential, but right now it is gaudy and ugly.
Oh, such a shame. I could see so many things that could be done with this place.
I know, right? It's
Well, doesn't make me
don't
want to
know.
vomit, but it's not pretty.
I mean, I know the location makes it attractive, but honestly, if anyone can just walk up and see it, to me it's always going to attract a less prestigious crowd.
Yes, but I mean, seedy places for shady practices and all that.
And what shady practices would happen at this seedy place?
Right now, I have no idea, but I'm sure someone's got something in mind. But I'm gonna go against my discretion. I'm going to go inside and have a check on some of my acquaintances that are there. They're rather young, so
Would you like some company?
I think company would make the inside of this place more bearable.
Very well, then I shall accompany.
I assume that offer extends to me as well?
Of course, of course. I am not one to leave people out.
Thank you very much. I will accept the invitation.
And Amber's gonna lead the two ladies up to the club to get inside.
All right. So you walk into the door, and it's exactly as I described before, and you see that the dance floor is moderately full. The DJ's kind of haphazard. It's not very good.
Has he picked up his set, or is it still as shit as it was the last time I was here?
It seems a little bit more hopping, but it's still
Oh.
it's late night, and it sounds like it's starting to wind down.
Shame.
Yeah, there's that too. DJ can't play music for shit.
Looking over the public, the clientele in
Mm.
here, what's the sort of general, what's on display?
Generally speaking, 20s to 30s. Some look a little bit younger than that. But it just seems like drinks and music and not really much else.
Yes, rather average, really.
It's just mediocre bits. But I'm sure I'll be able to spot Carlos, Alfonso, or Fox somewhere in...
Yeah, you can easily pick them out. You know what each of them looks like.
I'll go over to Carlos, considering he's the,
The new proprietor.
He's the new proprietor, yes.
Okay. It doesn't take long to call him over, and so he just kind of walks up to you. Hey, welcome back.
It seems you're settling in nicely.
I mean, this is the first day.
Oh yes, but first impressions are always important.
I suppose. Who's this?
Velda,
Yes.
pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. I'm Carlos Vivas.
Indeed you are. And Velda actually looks him up and down.
Obviously, or
Very obviously.
okay. He watches as you do so, and then looks back to Amber. What's up?
Oh, I was just coming to check on you.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes. I was just, coming to check on you and letting you know it's getting a little late. I would imagine that, just because, you know, with everything that's going on tonight.
Right. Yeah. After we're done here, we're probably gonna go back to the one place.
Alright. Then,
What about you?
alright, I will, I need to go looking for Urien.
Looking for Urien.
Yeah.
Why? He just gave me the keys and told me to go home when we're done. So
There's things that I have to deal with. And Carlos, if he gets back and you're not in day sleep, be gentle. He's had a rough night.
Right. Okay. He suddenly looks kind of concerned.
Amber would place a finger to her lips and shake her head. It's like, if you're meant to find out, you'll be told.
Right. Okay.
Right now,
Neat.
it's just more if that happens for your safety. Because you know how Urien can be when he gets angry.
Testy. Yeah. Sweet. I'll keep that in mind. Cool. Well, have fun with that, I guess? Question mark.
I thank you for the sentiment, Carlos. You you and the boys have a good rest of your night.
Okay. Very good.
And after that, Amber is just gonna look to the two ladies and be like, "All right, now that that's over and done with, let us go and find the man I work for."
Of course. He's cute, by the way, in his own way. Have you?
No.
You know. Intriguing.
So he is another member of your coterie?
His lot is a complex one, and it's not really at my disposal to discuss his nature.
I see.
It's more if Urien decides that he wants to discuss it with you. Which I don't know that he will. He plays his cards very close to his chest. Even I don't know what he's thinking 90% of the time.
I mean, I must say, it was a beautiful play, setting him up like that, dangling the bait that something is happening to his dear Urien, but not telling him what. He is just gonna scratch that itch at some point, and it will be glorious to watch. Well played, well played.
Why, thank you. Internally, Amber's just like, that was not my intention at all. But you know what? Roll with the compliment. Roll with it. But after having that little talk with Carlos and making sure the other two boys knew that she was here to quickly check on them, and she would lead the ladies out, and then it would be a matter of finding Urien. And to find Urien, well, I knew who he was going after, so I find who he was going after, I find Urien.
And how do you intend to do that?
I don't have a lot of ways of doing that, so I'm just gonna try giving him a good old-fashioned phone call first. It's probably not gonna go through, but it's worth a try.
Seems that the phone goes unanswered for now.
Yeah, case. Alright. Nice night for a drive, wouldn't you say, ladies?
Indeed. You seem a little stressed.
Yeah, you could say that.
I assume you were calling a member of your coterie? Or somebody related to your current situation?
Yeah, you could say that. Phone went unanswered, but I'm not really surprised by that. So we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Wheels to the ground and eyes
Head
to
to
the
the places they
space.
frequent?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
surely there must be some way we can narrow it down. I mean, would this Urien be searching any particular places? Your domain, perhaps?
There is the domain, but there is another place that I have in mind.
I had a thought. His quarry, the person that he's hunting down, is he somebody that you know well?
I know him. I know him. Yes.
Frightened animals always go to ground. Is there some place that he goes to hide out or to relax when things are tense?
I think I know where I might be at. I think I have an idea of where somewhere like that might be.
In which case, that's where I would start.
Right. We have a destination set to La Medianoche.
And that, I believe, is where we're going to cut over to Urien. Urien, you are walking the streets of your domain.
Yes. Yes, I am.
With purpose, it would seem.
I know where Benji likes to hunt. I know that he thrives for conflict. Especially conflict that comes his way. Doesn't take much to know the pattern. I've seen that before in him. There's only so many places he can hunt comfortably. And if he is not within my domain, I know where to end up going. I will rip it to pieces to get to him. There is frustration. I'm not in my usual garb. I'm trying to stay relatively anonymous right now. As I hunt the streets, walking. I don't have to worry about tiring. Still, I will find him. I'm not sure where this is going to go after I do.
Are we gonna eat him?
Please. Do you think I would allow him to end that quickly?
Seems like he'd be rather tasty. He got Rascal. You let him have Rascal.
I will take it up with him. I keep an eye out. Especially in the darker places. Places with low light. Places that I don't suspect Benji will be, but in case I do find him, I need to use every advantage I have. Benji may be an idiot at times. Sometimes you need to swat the dog on the nose, but still. It would be foolish of me to end up underestimating his physical prowess. He is Bruja, hot-blooded, and is capable of bending steel with his bare hands. I feel weak right now. There was a time where I feel like I could rend him to shreds, and now I am this. They have had more time, but still, if I can't survive Benji, then what hope do I have against Camarilla?
Go ahead and, seeing as you know Benji's habits, go ahead and make me an intelligence plus insight.
Do I also add lane to this?
Yes, go ahead.
That's 7 successes.
He's not a hard one. He's not a hard one to mistake. You knowing the routes in which he usually hunts in the domain or patrols in the domain, you know his habits. You know what he's like. and it doesn't take you very long to spot him. Seems to be walking casually. It's not really making a big fuss. He's just kind of walking down the sidewalk, keeping his eyes open, looking around. Doesn't really seem to spot you yet, though. You seem to be at his side. He's gonna be walking past you.
But this is out in the open.
That it is, currently.
Did I find any alley or any place that is dark enough? Something that might impede his natural vision?
There is one a little ways away, but he seems to be keeping towards the lit areas and keeping his eyes out for other troublemakers, perhaps. He does kind of glance down alleyways, but seems to pass them up.
I will approach him.
Are you doing so in some kind of stealthy way? Are you trying to sneak up on him,
No.
or are you trying to be obvious?
I'm going to end up approaching him. Will not end up. He needs to know this is coming. And if he doesn't, it's only there to punish his stupidity. Right now, I am not sure if I'm simply going to punish him a small amount to put it into perspective, or if I'm going to flay him like a fucking carcass. I'm about to end up finding out, I suppose. Although,
You seem to be making some fairly loud footsteps, because he does hear you coming and kind of look towards your way, and kind of gives you a little bit of a wave and says, "Oh, hey, fancy meeting you here."
what have you found out?
Just been kind of patrolling around looking for people. Haven't really found anybody making a fuss right now, so
Well, I have,
oh,
and it is something that needs to be dealt with. Did you drive here or did you walk?
my vehicle's down that way.
Good, we need to go for a drive.
Okay, just lead the way.
Good. I get in a vehicle with him.
Okay, and he gets in the driver's seat,
I'm
starts fastening his seatbelt.
going to start I'm going to start with hooking up my seatbelt. Does Benji do the same?
He finishes hooking it up and he starts the ignition.
Good. I'm gonna start taking him a little closer to home. It's a nice vehicle. Shame what's going to happen. Benji,
Yeah.
I need to ask. Have you made it a point of meeting interesting women lately?
Lately?
Yeah, something in the past couple of nights, perhaps.
Yeah. Because you told me to the other night.
I told you to find out. What did you find out? What you managed to do is scare one of them enough to call the police and then run to Father Trent.
Yeah. I've been kind of working to fix that.
You did not tell me what had transpired or how serious it was. Did you not think I would end up not finding out. Benji, did you think I would remain ignorant to the fact? Do you perhaps take me as foolish?
No.
Because right now I feel I have been played the fool.
I was wanting to figure out how it was I could fix it before, delving into that.
Before what? After the police ended up asking questions? Maybe got your description?
Oh,
Or maybe I should show you the photographs.
photographs. She got photographs?
We're in the woods right about now, right?
Yeah, you're going down the trail.
Oh, good. In his confusion, I'm going to grab the wheel. I'm going to put us both into a tree.
Go ahead and make me a quick... I am going to say wits plus drive, and he's going to oppose it with a dexterity plus drive.
What's plus drive?
Yep.
Okay. I am going to use a rouse, and there is one other thing that I need to do. Oh, God. Actually, hold up. Let me think this through. Can I split the action?
The second action will take a -2.
Okay. I'm going to use the putting us into a tree as my primary. I'm taking the seatbelt out the second.
Okay.
I'm going to... It shouldn't be hard. I'm literally pressing a button. But I'm pressing a button before impact.
Yeah. Then make the what's it called? The wits plus drive first, and then a dexterity plus larceny at a -2.
Okay. I'm going to rouse the blood.
Okay, that'll apply to your first roll.
Yep. And let me double check here. Yeah. And I am... Now, you said that the first one is going to be wits plus drive?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, this is gonna suck. Technically, the hunger wouldn't kick in for...
Not for the first
until
roll,
after
the
the
second
rise.
roll. Yeah.
Okay, so can I still roll that first one?
Yes, you can.
Okay. 3 successes.
All right. And I believe I hit that. At least I thought I did. There it goes. And it seems that you have beat him so far.
And we're going into a tree. Now, you said larceny, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Do I get a...
going to oppose this with a strength athletics.
Okay. I have a 1 die. That's it.
Yeah, 1 die.
Yeah. Is he also penalized?
He is also penalized for the same action.
Yeah. And do I also have any penalties on him for the fact that I caught him in mid-question or confusion?
Yeah. He's going to take an
finishing,
additional...
I'm just hoping.
He's going to take an additional -1 for the confusion.
Okay. I can't... Is that a crit? No. Fuck off. Alright.
So you are able to loose the seatbelt. It does come undone, but it seems that his grip on the steering wheel is tight enough that he doesn't go flying.
That's fine, but he's still taking a hell of a lot more damage.
And so, do you know what a vehicle crash damage-wise is? 'Cause I have no idea.
It's okay.
I think I'm going to cost
This
him 2 superficial damage.
mhm. After aggravated, or pardon, not after aggravated. Is this
That's
already halved
already
or?
halved. 4 half to 2.
Yeah, good.
He kind of bounces back against the seat and says, "What the fuck?"
I immediately at this point um, look at him and I am going to use blood sorcery. I'm going to use extinguish vitae.
Okay. That is versus stamina and what else?
Stamina composure.
Stamina composure.
Yeah. I think that's a crit. Nope. I am her, so I'm going to re-roll 3 dice. That is a crit.
That is a
So
crit, so that increases his hunger by 2. And he what you see is the wounds that have formed on his face as you crashed. You take a second to utter some arcane words, and it seems as if the wounds gush blood. Not like you had with Wolf before, but it seems like it's more profuse this time. And he is leaking. And he opens the car door as much as he can, and he forces it open and just kind of gets out of the car. Urien, what the fuck?
he immediately ends up opening him a door and steps out. His eyes start to glow that unholy red as he slams the car door open and he starts walking around the car, keeping this Benji in mind.
Urien, I'd like you to make me a Fury Frenzy check.
I am down to 3 willpower. Three successes.
You're keeping a lid on it so far.
Yeah. I step out of the light into the darkness where I can only see the eyes, the unhollow eyes.
What the hell?
You have cost me my herd. You have brought the enemy to my doorstep. You have hidden your ineptitude from me and cost this domain. You are supposed to be reliable, Benji.
I was going to fix it!
You fix nothing. Have you learned nothing? I was not watching Carlos suffer enough for you to understand what would come of you if you had never disappointed me.
Look, I'm sorry.
On your knees, child.
No.
On your knees. Oh, that's not aroused.
And that is versus Intelligence Resolve.
Resolve. Yeah. Did I crit? Did he crit? Nope. So he's falling to his knees.
And you see that it's hesitant, but it happens.
Are you going to beg for your life now? Do you enjoy someone kicking in your door, crashing your place of safety? Benji. And you know what happens from this point forward. So why should I end up forgiving you? When you have done everything to earn my ire.
Because you need me!
Is that what you believe? Is that truly what you believe?
Don't you?
Of what use is a stray animal that steals from my plate, pisses on my own lawn? Of what use are you then? I would thought Isabella raised you better. Instead, when I gave you a chance, you spoiled it by hiding this from me, by lying and hoping it'll get better later. Later has caused 2 masquerade breaches.
He is going to make a Fury Frenzy check.
That's fine.
What is his...
If I so much as see him move, I am going to snap my fingers again.
Oh, that's supposed to be at a -1. So that's only 2 successes for him. He lunges for you. He's got rapid reflexes, so he goes first.
We're still at the distance and still have a car between us.
Yep. And so he's going to soaring leap and attack you with a strength brawl at a -2.
Alright. This is going to be... And I'm going to extinguish his vitae in mid-flight.
Alright, do it. Oh. Yeah, nope. Are you dodging at all, or are you just using extinguish vitae?
I am taking the hit.
Okay, so you do take 3 points of superficial damage, half to 2. But he does go down instantly. As soon as he hits you.
I feel this immense strength, the enormity. Even Benji, weakened, damaged, hindered, still hits like a truck, and as his body with the movement at such ungodly speed strikes me, I end up finding myself landing upon my back, the fallen near branches crackling under my weight, and I can already feel many of my ribs have completely turned dust. If I needed to breathe, I might die here. I stand slowly over the body. I am grabbing hold and starting to end up dragging him. I look for a moment. My dear student, why did you make this come to this? I think of him. My poor Benji. But I cannot apologize now. And I cannot stop now. I begin to drag his body into the woods. I start to reach into his pocket. I look at the phone. I see a number. Last call. I begin to make the phone call back to Amber.
Amber, you get a ring on your phone from Benji.
I'm going to answer the phone, raising it to my ear.
Is this Miss Dupree?
Oh, you're not dead. Okay. Yeah.
No, he is not dead. Very much so, I would do it now.
I was talking about you.
Oh, do not end up thinking that you can talk me out of this one, Amber. He crossed the line.
Mr. Doyle, I think you misunderstand. I wasn't going to talk you out of anything.
I do not misunderstand anything. I think it is you that misunderstands. Right now, he is a liability. He is something that is out of control. And right now, the last thing we need is for somebody to step out of line. Not you, not him, not any of you. Not to put us all at risk.
You're exactly correct.
No, I don't want that either. He leans down over Benji, looking him in his torpid eyes. No, I don't want that either. But if it is so much of a concern, you get here. Come up the road, bring chains, tell the boys they need to end up moving a busted up old car. If you want him alive so badly, it is going to cost you. Be here soon before I change my mind. He hangs up the phone and cracks it. Looking down, Benji. Make no mistake, Benji. That bitch just saved your life. He starts to drag Benji into the woods as he starts pulling out a knife. Fade to black.
Just out of interest, how much of that would Violet be able to catch?
It was fairly loud, so make a fairly simple wits plus awareness.
I would also like to make that roll if that's possible.
Go for it. You hear
Damn.
shouting, but it might be the speaker of the phone itself that's kind of garbling it a little bit when it gets loud. Shoddy technology.
I'm actually just going to spend the willpower on that one.
Alright.
That's more like it.
You definitely hear a good portion of that conversation. Especially the yelling.
Well, that seemed rather intense.
Yeah, you could say that. Well, I know where he is now. Alright, ladies, I gotta go and get the boys to come and pick him up, because unfortunately, I don't have chains in my trunk.
Do they have a phone?
Actually, yeah.
Give them a call, and we can get there soon.
I'm gonna ring Carlos.
You ring him, and you tell him that you need everyone to come home with chains, with anything they can find. And all of you make your way towards the coterie house. And that, I think, is where we're going to take our quick break. Be back soon, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, Season 2, Episode 9. We rejoin Urien as he is doing some work on Benji to make an example out of him. He's up the road from the meeting house, not far, off of the main street. Urien, you hear a voice in your ear. Interesting play.
Is this a familiar? Is this an actual voice, or is it?
This is an actual
more like
voice.
mutual? I'd like to see if I can identify who this probably is.
This is a voice that's very familiar to you.
Uh-oh.
Very familiar to you. The voice of Galvin. Removing a piece off the board.
Is that what this seems like?
That is exactly what it seems like, Mr. Doyle. Do you turn to look at him?
Well, he slides in. I'm actually surprised to end up seeing you out here, Sheriff. Seems you're a long way from home.
As are you.
Now, you wouldn't happen to be out here because of, little beef that we end up having now.
Not at all.
I mean, no. I would have expected you to be the first one. After all, bad things did happen.
Bad things did happen indeed.
And
You took
I
my
hope
brother.
you... Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mr. Doyle.
I hope you don't find it rude of me if I still like to think of you as Sheriff.
You may if you wish.
You're a guest in my domain. Please allow me to offer some form of courtesy.
Sadly, I'm not here for courtesy. Just perusing.
Now, if I might, there's a little bit of confusion here. Maybe you'd be kind enough to clear it up. Just a little bit. Would you kindly?
Ask away.
Appreciate it, Sheriff. Yeah, Galvin. Sheriff. The Camarilla is coming. Here now. Now, I'm also aware that Kyle might be, Mr. Calhoun, sorry, would be dropping on by. Given the relations, I'm a little bit confused. If anything, you see me wounded, you see me alone, with some work in the trunk, like the good old days. But you're not coming after me. And I know you could have put a stake in me at any moment you wanted, walked off and called it a day. But you didn't.
No. No, I feel that the proper hands to take you off the board are Kyle's, Mr. Calhoun's, as would be the right he would claim for his prince's destruction. My prince's destruction.
That's very selfless of you, Sheriff Gal. You were very close, you and me. I hope you don't mind. He kind of grabs one of the loose seats from the back and rips it out, places it down. Please, have a seat. On me. Might as well get comfortable.
Yes, but the dawn is approaching soon.
True. But I'd like to end up having a word. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, Sheriff Calvin. I did miss you. No, seriously. See, you're sharp enough to be down San Antonio, so I think you would agree with me that compared, what you're seeing here is clay versus solid granite. You're used to solid granite. Clay works very differently. Yeah, it's soft. It doesn't really hold its shape too much. But it's also kind of harder to crack. It doesn't have a nature in it to crack. Very different, if you might have noticed.
And your point with that being?
I think your approach needs to be well thought out. I mean, let's be honest here, it's not like you're dealing with another Tyler incident.
No.
That would be pretty simple. Take Tyler out, and there's the end of the rebellion. Make a name for yourself. I would, however, really appreciate the opportunity to meet Calhoun. face to face. Could such a meeting be made arranged in a way that we can talk in a civil capacity?
There's always room for civil conversation. However, I know that your lack of civility goes a long way. So it can be arranged, but I am not going to expect much from you.
Nor should you. Of any anarch. None worth the saying. Still, you might be surprised from time to time. But I do have a message. First to Mr. Steele. I'm glad one of yours got out, outside of yourself, Sheriff. Really, I am. And the second would be to Mr. Calhoun himself. Tell him how he done his blood proud.
You don't speak for his blood.
Do I not? He snickers a little bit.
No.
That would be amusing. You know, the truth is that I was always jealous of you, Calvin. You never let your condition get the worst of you. You should be proud.
I would like you to make a roll. I want you to make a manipulation plus leadership.
I will reroll.
What do you know? What do you know of me?
I think the better question, Sheriff Galvin, is what do you know of me? Outside of my name. Funny thing about all the blood being consumed by young. Does very strange things. I remember that you had always kept a set of 4 ties in the box. Just in case. One for each event. I also know you had eyes for Liliana. And I loved her so. And I always respected you as a brother.
Stop it.
And this is the most painful moment you're going to have.
Stop
because
it.
You must keep a secret from Calhoun himself.
You lie.
Grandchild there. Do I? Test me.
Anarch liar.
I know, it is hard. However, have I done anything that strikes you as familiar? I'm not removing a piece from the board. I'm putting it back into place. I admire Kyle's zeal, and he will do far more for the Camarilla if he believes I am truly dead. That he must hunt down this Urien Doyle who consumed his blood. My sacrifice is in playing the part of this devil, being trapped in the face of my own murderer. And he must never know. I would not have him dishonored as such. Loyal. Wonderful. Theodore. I would not have him disgraced. You look at this body, this pale imitation, with hatred and disdain that matches mine.
You disgust me.
Test me.
Alright. Alright. First off, why should I play your game?
Because when you were young, you came to me and I asked, what did you have to offer? You were the only one to be honest to me and say you had nothing. But you wanted to learn what could give. Yours was more concerned with the city and domain. And I told you what it was lacking. Do you remember what it is? The answer that made you sheriff.
It's been too long.
Not too long enough. You said order. You kept the peace. For so long I was surprised it didn't crack sooner. Everyone else probably looks at you as an ex-sheriff and all look at the sheriff that failed Jackson. But I know better. It was my failure as your prince. And I am serving the sentence of that punishment. But for what it is worth, Theodore, Sheriff Galvin, no sins were for you to bear. That is my responsibility.
I think we're done here.
I hope to see you soon. There is a place, not far from here, up the road. Small man-made hill. There you'll see dried flowers left there for a grave that doesn't exist. I would meet you there. And we can properly mourn together. And you can help me become the devil that Calhoun needs to ascend.
up my brother Marius. And he turns to walk away.
No. But the funny thing of our condition, Sheriff Galvin, is it doesn't stick very well. I have died twice to find that out. He leans back in the chair. He's placed down.
And with that, he disappears and walks, and as much as you know, walks away.
I will use sight and sense the unseen, though I very much doubt my talents can compare to his.
Roll it anyway. Actually, that's the wrong one. Okay, let me fix this. Here we go. He disappears without a trace.
What fledgling could possibly catch you off guard? Go. He wipes something out the corner of his eye. The red between his fingers as he rubs it into his pale, dead skin. An old friend. I would not believe, or could not. But matters not. If he does not tell Marius, then I have a friend in court. Pardon, if he tells Kyle. If he doesn't tell Kyle, or if he does tell Kyle, that will make Kyle all the more enraged that I'm pretending to be something I'm not. Either way serves my cause. Now, if it was only for those childer who arrived in chains.
Shortly after Galvin leaves the scene, you do see the rest pulling up in vehicles. Carlos with the van and Amber's vehicle. Though you do see that she too has 2 extra passengers.
He steps forward. Carlos, Alfonso, Fox, chain the vehicle, bring it to the cabin, clean what you can. Let this just be a small scar on the landscape that make people wonder and forget.
What the fuck happened here?
I will show you momentarily. You may wish to also pull out the tarp here in the back of the van, have it prepared. He starts to walk to Amber and her entourage. Now, he looks over Velda and Miss Violet. Are these familiar faces to him?
They're not people that you've met before. But you can make a politics roll if you want to check for both of them.
Very well then. First one is for Velda, and second one is for the Miss Violet. Well, it's not completely dark dice, but this one isn't like, oh my god, please don't die. So, you know.
Um, the name circled around. Velda von Schwenku zu Alfenberg. A mouthful of a name. Altenberg, sorry. She sounds foreign. But as far as you know, she was embraced in San Antonio. And for Miss Violet, she's new. There's not a whole lot to know about her.
But I am aware that she is kindred.
You are aware that she's kindred.
So I have the, good graces of finally meeting Miss Velda von Spangohesi Altenberg and the lovely Miss Violet. Pleasure to make your acquaintances. Allow me to introduce myself. Urien Doyle.
The pleasure is all mine.
Indeed. I have heard much about you, Mr. Doyle.
Well, they do say flattery will get you everywhere. In this case, a small cabin in the woods where many disappear. Exciting. Please. It's a common meeting spot. I can make this brief. What brings you to Childer? I'm assuming Amber brought you for more than just beautiful company.
Potential assistance?
For what?
Whatever you need us for, Mr. Doyle.
Well, I do appreciate the tone of your voice. I am afraid I have a fair amount of company to keep and a domain to oversee. So if there is any way I can assist you with two beautiful ladies, that would be, well, do not hesitate to ask. But if you intend to stay or feed in my domain, Sanctuary is open to all who request it and are willing to pull their weight. I give the same offer to all.
I'm more interested in the sticky situations that you and your company seem to find yourself in.
Really?
Indeed.
Very well then.
I do believe you have some issues concerning police and present company. Velda glances towards the vehicle.
Oh no, that is something I handle myself.
Yes, I had the opportunity to overhear the loud conversation via phone.
And yet its context may be lost on.
Indeed.
I mean, if I may interject, it seems quite apparent to me. Amber did mention that a coterie member of yours had caused a breach, presumably the breaches that caused the police to get involved. Now, seeing as with all of us, we like to keep things low, I'm guessing this is the result of you cleaning up that coterie member.
No. This is not cleaned up. Cleaned up happens afterwards. Right now, this is... He looks to the tree, smiles a bit. Damage control. I don't have time for subtleties. And neither does the sun.
Indeed.
Shall we get going?
After you.
Lead on, Mr. Doyle.
Tell me, ladies, he starts to. walk towards Amber's car and seats himself in the back. Sits right in the center. It was a very tiny limousine.
Velda would take a seat to his side.
Violet would take a seat on the other side.
Left or right, which do you take?
Oh, she's going to take the right.
Violet will smirk and take the left.
Amber, would you be kind enough? The others will approach shortly, but it gives us a moment to speak while the children do their busy work.
Yeah. So we're gonna head up to the meeting house.
Yep, and you drive up to the house, and Velda and Violet, this house is pretty nice. It's a little 2-story home. It's got a nice little stone walkway leading up to it. It's very quaint, but not unappealing.
How sweet.
Charming. I am familiar with similar places from certain getaways with clients.
And what sort of clients would those be, Miss Violet?
Well, if you want a more accurate introduction, I am formerly of Detroit, one of the many who got out of there right before things took a much worse turn.
Right out of the pen and into the fire, I see.
I don't know, there still seems to be a lot less actual fire here than the city I left behind, so time will tell.
Intriguing.
Which part would that be? He opens the door and...
Oh, simply hearing where Miss Violet is from. She and I are still becoming acquainted, aren't we, Miss Violet?
Indeed, though I make no secret of my history. One merely has to ask.
Of course.
Last I heard, it was occupied by Sabat.
The Sabbat were driven out a while ago. One of many attempts. The Anarchs claimed the city for a while, but then the bickering and infighting grabbed the attention of the Kine, which then grabbed the attention of the Camarilla. When I left, there was not many good options.
I believe the term used by the Kine in this age is clusterfuck.
That sounds correct.
Well, do come in, do make yourselves at home. Amber, so strange to see you so quiet.
I'm thinking.
He closes the door behind once the three ladies are in, and pulls out another chair for the dining room table. You'll have to forgive, this will be a cramped evening if you plan on staying. But
That's fine with me.
Entirely depends upon Amber. If she plans upon staying,
If you are making the offer, Mr. Doyle.
then allow me to ask a simple question. What do you offer in return? Mine is a place where the kindred amongst my own earn their place. Outside of being beautiful beyond measure, almost akin to Amber herself. What is it you actually offer?
My resources, any knowledge I may have, my ability to talk my way through anything. Outside of that, I have nothing really to offer.
Such the pity. But many are in your straits. And
Of course.
yourself, Miss Violet.
I can only offer myself. I have some resources, but they are rather specialized into my trade. However, coming from Detroit, I offer not only an outsider's perspective, but also a certain intrigue and attraction to the kindred of this place. Also, a valuable lesson that I feel you are attempting to teach the barons, from what I hear. I am walking proof that unless they unify against the Camarilla threat, then they will be defeated and their city will fall. After all, it has happened to Detroit, it could happen just as easily here.
Perhaps. Each city's metal is made differently. Now,
Certainly, Detroit did not have a Urien Doyle to defend it. Only a little mouse that proved lacking to the task.
well, I'm sure you will get a better understanding of Urien Doyle tonight. So allow me to make the ground rules perfectly clear. I do not hide what I do. I am a revolting creature by many standards. And yet, if you are wishing comfort in my domain, I will offer you one night of soccer. In return for this, I simply end up asking for the ability to feed, to end up guarding over my little cultivation. I wish to know of the other kindred who arrive, who wish to do business. Those who wish to meet me, well, will go through the thin bloods, my little low birth solution. They will be the gatekeepers. You'll be the high rollers. The rest, as I request, will come in time. As I learn, trust you. Break that trust. He looks to probably see a couple of headlights coming up the driveway at this point. And, well... Oh, silly me. Velda, you said you wanted to assist me.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Miss Violet, yeah, Velda, would you be kind enough to grab what's in the trunk of that car and bring it to the basement, please?
Of course.
Certainly.
As soon as they leave, he looks to Amber. So, while you may have found potential allies, it seems that you have done so by asking for a favor.
Yes, but that favor is, and the repaying of that favor is mine to worry about. What comes of that will be on my head. I'll make sure it doesn't come back to you. Now I have a couple of plans.
Involving those two specifically, or were they simply an opportunity that found in your life?
If I'm being honest, a little bit of both. The opportunity presented itself, but I did have other things in mind that they happen to fit the mold of. And with a silver lining for tonight, I also have the name of a contact who may be able to help us with little
You have very
police.
few nights to end up completing this here, Mr. Pre. I certainly hope that all this dilly-dallying will not come back to harm my little project.
No, this is more a setting up of contingency in case the main plan we have in mind doesn't work.
Speaking of
Because
which, have you fed the knight?
actually, give me a moment. I need to check. No, but I haven't found myself very hungry, so.
I am going to rouse the blood, and you can see the wounds starting to stitch together. He looks better in shape. He looks amber. Be ready. I will end up taking my fill of you next this payment. Dealing with Benji can be surprisingly taxing.
Yes. Yes, I would imagine so.
But for now, enjoy the show. And he kind of leans back, listening in.
Velda, Violet, you help Alfonso, Fox, and Carlos to lift a tarp wrapped, looks like, body out of the vehicle. And the three of them look mildly, no, mildly is putting it mildly, they look disturbed.
First time?
Could say that.
You get used to it.
Question. Who is this? Or what is this?
This is
I imagine at this point Carlos is pulling up a scalp of red hair. Just a little bit. Still.
Yeah, that's Benji. Oh, okay.
Benji?
That's he said in the basement,
You really
right?
weren't listening earlier, were you, my dear Velda?
I play it as if I was, but to be honest, I didn't catch most of the conversation. Just the noise.
From what I can gather, and from what Urien confirmed even in his light admonishment of me, Benji was the third member of this little coterie that they have, and he was rather naughty by the sounds of it.
Oh yes, rather naughty indeed. Although he may still yet be a part of this.
Well, I'm certain by the fact he is not Ash that he is still very much a part of this, although that depends rather on Mr. Doyle, doesn't it?
Indeed. Well, he saw fit not to do him in entirely. So, shall we, before the sun rises?
Yeah, it's getting late. And the five of you enter the house, and Carlos, Alfonso, and Fox lead you down to the hallway where there is a cellar door, and lead you down into it with Benji in tow.
In the cellar, you will see several blankets held up. I'm pretty sure Violet would have a better understanding of why. Soundproofing. There is several circles, satanic marks, pentagrams upside down, and many odd runic symbols in amongst the circles made of chalk and blood.
Would I recognize any of these symbols?
You would recognize the pentagram part, but make me a wits plus occult to recognize the rest.
Could I also do the same?
You may. It'll be separate rolls.
Damn.
And for both of you, they just kind of... They look like pagan markings, you assume? Maybe satanic in nature? You're not sure.
Interesting decoration.
Reminds me of my sire.
Feels like home.
Not ours, though. It's important to remember that for now.
Of course. I think I might come to like this, Mr. Doyle.
And shortly after the five of you have brought Benji down, Urien and Amber join you.
He looks to Benji. Well, I know you can hear me still. Maybe half dazed, wondering how did it come to this? It's because you held secrets from me. It's because you disappointed me. And I would do unto you no different than I would do to anyone who would threaten my domain. Or anyone who would threaten Delgato's domain. We do not have time for trivialities. So I'm going to allow you to think about it. Amber will be responsible for your feeding when she feels she is ready for it. You will find yourself more pliable with her, and you can be grateful. You owe her a life debt. Because if it was not for her, you would be but ash and a smear. I do not need you, Benji. And me besting you should have proved that beyond any reasonable doubt. Now that the unpleasantness is out of the way, Velda,
Yes.
Miss Violet, I would have a conversation with you two, privately and individually. I believe we have 1 hour for the sun rises.
I look forward to it.
Fantastic. You will speak honest and openly with me.
Of course.
If I so much as feel that you are not, well, you already know where that route goes.
And I highly doubt Amber will extend us the same courtesy as saving us.
I would not expect it to. My actions are entirely my own.
You can see Urien has a slight smirk on that. Well, I will be up in my chambers. You can't miss it. To the rest, I would suggest finding cots and what have you. The living room is not light perfect. Find a bunkmate. This place was not meant to handle so many, so you'll have to pardon the cramped space right now. But it is only for an evening.
Of course.
Carlos kind of nods and starts looking for blankets and things that may be laying around in the basement that aren't shielding the lights.
At this point, he walks up to his room, looks to Alfonso. Alfonso, please prepare M's old room. See that her personal belongings are removed and it is made comfortable for the two new guests.
Got it.
Good. I'm sure she removed most things, but if she has not, I will try to make arrangements. He gives him a wink.
Okay.
And he goes to his room, simply awaiting who will be the one to take the initiative.
Velda would actually follow him.
Violet would smirk and just let Velda take the initiative for now. And Violet would actually probably head and talk to Amber.
Alright. And what would Miss Violet like to talk to Amber about?
Well, this is certainly interesting. Mr. Doyle is quite a powerful individual, isn't he?
Quite. Amber at this point would still be down in the basement, kind of looking over Benji Burger.
Were you close?
Somewhat. We had a understanding, but I think what he thought of it and what I thought of it are, I don't know, two different things, the same thing. I couldn't tell you. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and yet it was still entirely inscrutable to me.
Such people often are. He can hear us, you know, like this.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not going to say that I wish I had been there or anything like that. He had this coming. He shouldn't have hid what he did. I was the one who had to discover what he had wrought. And as Mr. Doyle said, he was paying the price of that, and he knew it. It's why when extending this offer to you and Velda, that I did not immediately go, well, let's do this and that without coming and talking to Mr. Doyle first. Because I knew that if something had gone wrong and I had hid it from him, that I'd been collaborating with others, that I would end up just the same. Oh, I didn't know it'd be like this, but something.
A wise choice, to be sure. But come, tell me, what are the plans for cleaning up the rest of the mess that dear Benji has left us? I don't mean the car outside, I mean the larger nests.
Well, I have a way to make this go away. A little orchestration to make one half of this go away and then deal with the other half.
That's it.
Do you like plays, Miss Violet?
I have always had a touch for the theatrical, it can be said.
I'm glad. And because in the next couple of nights, I'd very much like to show you how I put on a show.
I look forward to it.
I think that's where we're gonna cut over to Urien and Velda. Velda, you followed Urien up to his room.
Indeed.
The room itself is sparse. You can see several more circles, many practiced repeatedly, almost as a pattern or maybe a compulsion. The bed is very plain, single mattress. The rest of it is hardly worth describing, more dilapidated with no windows. The window that used to be there is not just boarded up, it has been rebuilt into a proper wall. He simply pulls out the seat from the dresser, sits in it, and gestures for you to sit yourself at the foot of the bed.
She does as gestured, making herself comfortable, crossing her legs, and just looking him over with interest.
Miss Von, how's the pronunciation of it?
Von Zvenkau zu Eltenberg, but just call me Velda.
I would not do you the disrespect.
It's not disrespect, trust me. Far more disrespectful to repeatedly mispronounce the last name.
Yet you cannot end up mocking the gesture.
Of course.
Very well then, Velda. To what clan and sire do you belong?
Toreador. My sire's name is Asher Collins.
Collins.
Indeed.
Interesting. So, now that you are away from prying ears and eyes, Velda, what do you truly want?
I was forthright with you before. I simply wish to assist you. I'm attracted to power, and it seems that you have an interesting little play happening here.
If you were attracted to power, you would have been Delgado's side, or Batista's side.
Well,
Jameson has, though it may be waning these nights.
usually I do reside within Batista's domain. However, I feel time is limited for our current barons.
Now why would you say such blasphemous things?
It's not intended as blasphemous. But with the oncoming storm, best to reside where things will be less likely to fall.
So you have run into the eye of the storm.
Indeed.
But you're beating around the bush, you see.
I am.
Yes. You said that you are attracted to power.
Mm-hmm.
Very few corpses that do that do so without want of something. You are wanting to end up appearing subservient. Perhaps that
Yeah.
plays to your benefit, but it does you nothing but disservice in my eyes. If you wish to be acknowledged as a powerful individual in your own right, you must first exercise it in private. You do yourself no benefit by being humble to me.
It has just occurred to me that I maybe can learn a ton of things from you.
And then when you have learned them,
Who knows? I haven't thought that far yet.
perhaps you should start. The last time that this same play has happened, he gestures head down where Benji would be. That is the sort of destruction I and my ilk leave in our wake.
And I
You...
believe that destruction is fair.
No,
No?
no.
Well,
It is avoidable.
people are, of course, fallible. And no one is perfect.
Except for you, young Toreador, I'm sure.
No, even I am not perfect. But it's the imperfections that make things so wonderful. But if one makes a mistake, they should be honest about it and seek to rectify it in whatever way they possibly can.
Such would be considered justice. You may scoff at this, but very much so. I am the devil in Sanctuary, and I wear that title very much on my sleeve, as you have seen, to find yourself. If you find yourself in such sins, I would gladly express a level of hell appropriate. You see, my kindness is to those who are deserving of it. It is not something I offer just for being kind. It is something that must be earned. And Velda, if you wish to end up receiving such kindness and such tutelage, you first must demonstrate you are worth it. Amber here is engaging in her own process. Assisting her may benefit you, but it does not qualify as your own. You will be given your own task, and how you go about it lets me know the manner of woman I am dealing with.
Interesting. Well, color me intrigued and eager.
You are used to being teased, not the tease.